Why Marxism Will Never Work, an exploration of its inherent flaws. Marxism, as an ideology, has been the subject of extensive debate since its inception in the 19th century. Advocated by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, Marxism aims to create a classless society where the means of production are collectively owned, thereby eliminating class struggles and exploitation. However, despite its idealistic goals, Marxism is fundamentally flawed in several ways. This essay explores why Marxism will never work, focusing on its illogical and contradictory nature, its failure to align with human nature, and its inherent reliance on coercion and violence to achieve its aims. 1. Marxism is illogical and contradictory. At its core, Marxism is riddled with logical inconsistencies that undermine its feasibility as a political and economic system. One of the main contradictions of Marxism lies in its foundational premise: the idea that a classless, stateless society can be achieved through the establishment of a proletarian state. According to Marxist theory, the state is supposed to wither away after the proletariat has taken control and eliminated the capitalist class. However, history has shown that states rarely, if ever, voluntarily dissolve themselves. Instead, they tend to consolidate power, often leading to authoritarian regimes rather than the utopian society envisioned by Marx. Furthermore, Marxism assumes that the ruling class will willingly surrender their power, and that the working class, once in power, will act in the collective interest without falling prey to the same corruption and power struggles that have characterized previous ruling classes. This assumption is not only illogical, but also historically inaccurate. Throughout history, revolutions that have sought to overthrow existing power structures have often resulted in the emergence of new elites who replicate the same patterns of dominance and exploitation that they sought to eliminate. The Russian Revolution of 1917 and the subsequent rise of Stalinism is a prime example of this phenomenon. Rather than achieving a stateless, classless society, the Soviet Union became a highly centralized, oppressive state where the Communist Party elite wielded absolute power. Moreover, Marxism's economic principles are inherently contradictory. For example, Marx's labor theory of value suggests that the value of a commodity is determined by the amount of socially necessary labor time invested in its production. However, this theory fails to account for the complexities of modern economies, such as technological advancements, variations in labor productivity, and the role of supply and demand in determining prices. As a result, Marxist economics does not provide a viable framework for managing a modern economy, where dynamic markets, innovation, and entrepreneurship play crucial roles. 2. Human nature, the innate desire for power. Another significant reason Marxism will never work is its fundamental misunderstanding of human nature. Marxism assumes that once the capitalist system is overthrown, people will naturally cooperate and work for the common good without the need for personal incentives. However, this assumption is at odds with basic human psychology and behavior. Humans, by nature, are driven by self-interest and a desire for personal gain. This does not mean that people are inherently selfish or incapable of altruism. Rather, it means that individuals are motivated by a combination of personal interests, social dynamics, and cultural influences. Marxism, however, relies on the unrealistic notion that people will willingly sacrifice their individual desires and ambitions for the sake of the collective. This assumption ignores the complexity of human motivations and the fact that people have different aspirations, talents, and inclinations. Moreover, history demonstrates that individuals and groups often seek to impose their will on others, leading to power struggles, conflicts, and even violence. This tendency is evident in all forms of human organization, from small communities to large states. In a Marxist system, where the state supposedly acts in the interest of the proletariat, there is a significant risk that those in power will exploit their positions to advance their interests, leading to new forms of oppression and inequality. This is precisely what happened in many Marxist regimes, where the ruling class, often the Communist Party elite, used their power to suppress dissent, eliminate political rivals, and maintain control over the population. 3. Coercion and violence, the inevitable tools of Marxist implementation. A further critical flaw in Marxism is its reliance on coercion and violence to achieve its objectives. Marxist theory posits that the overthrow of the capitalist system is necessary for achieving a classless society. However, this overthrow typically requires a violent revolution, as the ruling capitalist class is unlikely to relinquish power voluntarily. This revolutionary process often involves significant bloodshed, destruction, and societal upheaval. Even after a successful revolution, maintaining a Marxist state frequently necessitates continued coercion to enforce conformity and suppress dissent. In practice, this has led to the establishment of authoritarian regimes where freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, and other fundamental human rights are severely restricted. The use of state violence to maintain control is a recurring theme in Marxist regimes, as evidenced by the brutal crackdowns on political opponents, intellectuals, and ordinary citizens in the Soviet Union, Maoist China, and other Marxist states. Furthermore, Marxism's disdain for private property rights and market mechanisms means that economic activity must be centrally planned and controlled. This centralization often leads to inefficiencies, corruption, and a lack of innovation, as the state bureaucracy becomes the primary allocator of resources. To enforce economic policies and maintain the planned economy, the state frequently resorts to coercive measures, including forced collectivization, the seizure of private property, and the imposition of quotas and production targets. These actions not only violate individual freedoms, but also contribute to economic stagnation and decline. Conclusion. In conclusion, Marxism's theoretical flaws, its failure to account for human nature, and its reliance on coercion and violence are fundamental reasons why it will never work as a sustainable political and economic system. While Marxism may offer a critique of the inequalities and injustices present in capitalist societies, its proposed solutions are neither logical nor practical. Instead, they lead to new forms of oppression and inequality, undermining the very ideals that Marxism claims to champion. History has repeatedly demonstrated that systems based on coercion, centralization, and the suppression of individual freedoms are doomed to fail. For these reasons, Marxism will never work, and its continued appeal remains a testament to the complexities of human societies and the ongoing quest for a more just and equitable world. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.